Hey, Patrick.
Hello.
How's it going?
How's it going? Not too bad, Peter. How about yourself?
Oh, it's this pandemic lifestyle is getting to me a little bit.
It's difficult. These are exhausting and enervating times to be a human being.
Yeah, but not as exhausting or enervating as it was being really anyone, ruler or peasant in the Middle Ages.
Yes, and here we are together to simulate the Middle Ages. This is our third attempt at doing so due to unfortunate events with regards to recording, but I think we've got it figured out now.
And we've learned a lot in the process.
We've learned a lot in the process, and that's what matters.
So Peasant Misery Simulator is the name of this game, right?
Yes, and peasant misery, and most importantly, royal and what's the word I'm looking for, I guess, just upper class barbarism.
Well, some things never change, and I guess
yes,
upper class barbarism is one of them.
We are going to participate in upper class barbarism here, and we are going to play in Croatia in the year 1066.
Now, how did you choose this this kingdom, this country, as the starting place?
Well, a good starting place in Crusader Kings III is not a place where you have where you're already an emperor. It's very difficult to keep an empire together, especially if in game you haven't kind of ascended to the throne yourself. You know, we could play as Kaiser Henrik of the Holy Roman Empire, an empire that was neither particularly holy nor Roman in any real sense. Or we could do the Byzantine Empire, Basileus Constantinos X. But the problem is that as soon as you're on the throne, everybody's gunning for you. And if you just kind of drop yourself in there, it's not going to go super well. So we're going to play as King Krasimir IV, the Great of Croatia, age 46.
Krasimir's an interesting fellow. I did some research when you told me that this was the start. So he became king in 1058, so sometime before the Norman conquest of England. And he's known as the Great largely because he united Croatia with Dalmatia. Can we zoom in here at all?
Yes, we can zoom in.
So if you look kind of this mountainous, islandy region to the southwest, that's Dalmatia. And he united Croatia with it. It's probably what he's most well known for. The other thing he did was pivot Croatia away from the Byzantine rite, in religious terms, and towards Roman Catholicism.
That's going to make it a lot easier for us to play because, as you well doubt know, pretty much all of Europe is Catholic at this point, as we had, a couple centuries to go before the Protestant Revolution. And it's certainly more difficult to play as a non-Catholic ruler. You can play as a kind of Christian sect, maybe the iconoclasts or what have you. But playing in the Muslim world has some parts that are easier and some parts that are more difficult. And the difficult part is that Europe is flush in the throes of Islamophobia and really wants to take you out. So we're going to play as Catholics this time. And
all right, let's get to it.
Yes, I have my eye here on this duchy, and we're going to just drop right in and see where we are.
We should probably apologize to our Central European viewers that, I don't know about you, I intend to accidentally mispronounce every name we see.
Oh, there's no hope for me. I'm absolutely at sea with regards to the pronunciation of Eastern European languages. So yes, apologies in advance to all my Eastern Europeans out there. We love you. So here we have the state of the world. We've got, we own 3 out of possible 7 holdings. These appear to be Sinkrot, our county, and our realm capital. We are the king of Croatia. It is a kingdom rank realm. This isn't always the case. We could have started over here in Dukla, and then we would only be a duke, or even down here where we would be just a prince in his principality. But starting as a king means that we get sort of a baseline respect from other rulers. what I'm worried about right now is that we are sandwiched between two great powers, the Byzantine Empire and the Holy Roman Empire. And if either one of these decides to that Croatia would look pretty good hanging on its wall, as it were, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we're going to start by expanding into Duksha aggressively, and we're going to build up a solid economic foundation and hopefully avoid either Hungary or the Holy Roman Empire or Byzantium expanding. And I think I have my eye also on kind of Eastern Italy.
Historically, Cresimir was involved in wars with some of the Normans who ruled southern Italy, and in fact, he was taken prisoner in a battle. So it didn't go well for him, but hopefully it'll go better for you. What's your family situation? Because
That's
I do
the
have
first question.
one other historical note here, which is that Cresimir died without a son, and it looks like you have one here.
I have a daughter,
Oh,
Princess
daughter.
Neda, and she is in line to inherit all of my titles. And this is pretty cool, but also if we have a son with our wife, Queen Miroslava, who is a godless villain. Oh, wow, she's a real winner in personality. She's got the sadistic trait, the cynical trait, and the wrathful trait. Sounds like a handful overall. And we, King Kresimir, we have the just, the calm, and the zealous traits. As well as being an elusive shadow, we have high intrigue. Strong, with prowess +4, prowess being the statistic that helps when we actually enter battles ourselves. And the torturer lifestyle trait.
Torturing, it's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle, and we should probably start by saying that as such, some of the text that we read out is going to get a little unpleasant if we pursue this torture trait.
Do we need to give content warnings generally for
I think
this
probably we might have something we edit into the introduction, but generally this is a game that simulates, as to some degree, homo homini monstrum. Man is a monster, man is an animal to man. We're going to be touching on unpleasant subjects like murder and torture and assassination. And we're going to be playing this game very much like a mob boss would. We're not going to be nice. We're going to win the game. I play to win, so it might get a little unpleasant here and there. So if that's not your cup of tea, then, go with God, as it were. So here we are. We've got our daughter. How's she doing? She's ill. That's not good. She wasn't looking so great. So we probably want to have another wife. Our wife is 21 years old, so she's probably capable of popping out another couple kids, which is nice. We're doing pretty well on our monthly income. We have 5 gold a month, which isn't bad for starting level. We've got good amounts of prestige and piety. And we have just under 2,000 soldiers. We can compare this to Duksha, who have 1,200 soldiers, and the Holy Roman Empire, which has 5,000. Byzantine Empire has even more, with 8,000. We won't be able to get up to those levels without some maneuvering and conquest of other places, but hopefully we can get this duchy under our feet, and maybe we can start making inroads into Apulia. So I think the first thing we want to do is to get our money up a little bit. So in the barony of St. Croat, we have a castle, and we haven't built any buildings yet. So as an army marches on its stomach, and a empire marches on its monthly income. So we have a number of buildings we can build here. I'm going to save up for this quarry, which the mountains of this province provide local construction with an excellent supply of building material. So we're going to save up for this 100 gold item, and we're going to get some money under us. And
now, we began this series in part because I came to you and said, Patrick, I'm terrible at this game. And there are entire systems of the game that I don't understand at all. And one of the things I've already taken away from our failed attempts at videos was how important the economy is. These buildings, I feel like I never had any kind of system for increasing my income. It always felt like a waste to me. Like I'd build something in a province and then end up giving the province away to someone else. So what was even the point of spending all that gold?
An excellent question. And, what we have to do is we have to plot as to keep these cities that we've improved in our direct control. If we conquer some backwater little hamlet and immediately give it away to some courtier who had a bee in his bonnet about not having enough land or respect, then that's totally fine. We haven't invested any money into it, and he'll invest his money and give it some of that to us in the form of taxes. But for our core provinces, which is my term for the ones that we want to improve most vigorously, we have Sinkrot, we have Mokro, which is another barony. It has some levying grounds in there, and we also have Bihak, which it has some simple stone quarries as well. Now, here's something that's interesting to me, is that this place is not of our faith. The Christiani have a presence here, and long forgotten by Catholic and Orthodox alike, the Christiani of the Bosnian highlands are more permissive than their better-known compatriots, but lack formal structure. Retaining many archaic elements of Christianity, they are often treated scornfully by co-religionists, if remembered at all. We consider them astray, whereas they consider us righteous. So I think we can probably coexist for a while. Empires tend to run better if they are unified under a single faith. I think both the game mechanics and the long arc of history attest to this.
One of the things I love about Crusader Kings as a game and as an experience is it's rare that almost every game I play, I end up jotting down a bunch of terms that I've never heard before that send me off to Wikipedia to learn more about that era in history or that group. And so now I've written down the Christiani because I want to know more about them.
Yes.
That's great.
Most of the religions in this game are real religions. There are a couple kind of jokey ones, but we can see that the Catholicism's three tenets here are armed pilgrimages, which Catholicism is really into the Crusades, as the title of the game might suggest. We've got communion, which lets us exchange gold for piety, and monasticism, which allows us to tell our courtiers to become a monk. So if we have somebody who is kind of philandering or perhaps making a fuss, we can tell them that they need to go and take the take the vows, as it were. We'll also notice that we are male-dominated, which is that women. This reflects the times that it was. Only men can be chancellors, stewards, and marshals. Only men can be commanders and knights. Women cannot be granted titles. Women do not get implicit claims on their parents' titles. And we do know that because we only have one offspring, and she is a woman, that Princess Neda, it does stand to inherit our land and titles. But we probably want to get some more kids under us because she's not looking so good.
I do find it surprising that the game doesn't make it. You can, of course, mod the game, and there's plenty of mods in the workshop and things that will change the way the game plays. I find it surprising that the game isn't more forward with a deliberately ahistorical option. I mean, I get that the game's bread and butter is these things we're talking about, but in particular, the kind of sexist baseline of medieval Europe, I would think it's got to be a turnoff to half the people out here who might want to play the game who are women.
I think that's probably the case, especially for this year in 1066. In the earlier starts, the year 867, there are some really cool starts with female rulers, and you can even establish a female-only succession line, which is a very fun way to play, given that it's the opposite of how most of this goes. And now we should pick our lifestyle. We can pick, there are 5 skills in this game: diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. They are kind of what they sound like. We could pick some intrigue perks. We already have some of these. I think we're running out of space here. Yes, here we go. That's much better. We're not crammed into this anymore. We already have a lot of points invested in intrigue because this was our lifestyle that we were brought up in, which is kind of randomized for the starting rulers, but we can control it when it comes to our children. This is why we are a torturer. We also gain other such perks, such as the fact that our dread does not go down. Dread is a measure of how scared of us everybody is. We're more likely to imprison people. We do not lose piety or clergy opinion from torturing or executing others. When we torture someone, we do have a 50% chance to gain either 1 intrigue or 1 prowess, up to a maximum of 5. So it's
kind of a really weird perk if you stop to think about it. Everyone's like, torture's really wrong. Well, except for Jim, he's just like that.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lifestyle. But even though we gain a lot more experience in intrigue, and if we wanted to get all the tech trees, which other than torture are seducer and schemer, we could try to do that. But for our purposes, I think we want to choose stewardship, which is largely the best tech tree to take in my experience. And so what I really want is golden obligations, which lets us demand payment for hooks that we have on other characters. Hooks being what they sound like, a secret, some blackmail, or a favor owed. Usually favors are what are called weak hooks. The kind of stuff where it's like, come on, you owe me. Whereas a strong hook would be something like discovering somebody murdered someone else, and that's more of a if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to expose this to everyone. Really dire consequences. So a really good way to get gold in this particular era is to send your spy master off to either the Byzantine or the Holy Roman Empires and have them sort of just look around for various plots, whether that's murder or people keeping their sexual proclivities under wraps insufficiently. There's always a bunch of rules. There's always a bunch of skullduggery going on in these empires, and so I think we refer to it as sort of the Bank of Byzantium. We can troll for secrets and then cash out as a result. So I'm going to take the wealth focus here. It's war, honor, and loyalty are all means to an end. Gold, and this gives us.
And you get a nice 10%, right?
Yes, plus 10% for income, which isn't bad. Especially given that 10% in these early days really does matter in terms of what we can build up. And so as soon as we get an upgrade there, we're going to take golden obligations. But we can start by looking at our council and seeing who's on here. Got Queen Miroslava, and she's going to assist us in 1 attribute. She has pretty good stats overall. So I think I'm going to have her focus on intrigue because we're already an intrigue-based ruler. That's our highest stat. And if I needed to expand domains, if I wanted another territory slot, I would probably pick Managed Domain. But I would just want to intrigue here because we're going to be intriguing and torturing willy-nilly.
Yeah, and you blew my mind because I'd been playing CK3 since it came out and not realized that was a pull down.
Yes.
I thought it was just telling me. Others like, your spouse is assisting the ruler. And I'm like, great. I don't have to do anything. And you clicked on that and it absolutely killed me because I was missing that bonus.
I'm going to bump the UI up just a little bit more. It's a little small. There we go. That should be better. We're going to... Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of in the wrong place. I think this is the reason. What you said, like, wife selection in this game is a lot more than just kind of
Spouse
picking,
selection, because
well, yeah, spouse selection is a lot more than just picking somebody with kind of good stats and who's cool. Like you can picking a commoner who's a genius and able to give you +8 or +10 to your stewardship score is so much better than picking like a kind of fail princess, a fail son or fail daughter from a large empire, because it'll let you just bump your stats up arbitrarily. So we didn't get to select our wife here, depending on how our heir looks, or we can select a good spouse for them. But I'm going to start by I would like some more children rather than just this sickly daughter of mine, because if she dies and then I die without an heir, the game is over and we'll have to stop streaming, which would make us very sad. So I want to start a scheme that says we will become lovers. However, I am not attracted to women, so this is a problem. If you notice underneath my portrait, my sexual orientation is homosexual. And so this is going to throw a bit of a wrench in our plans.
We should clarify. Being homosexual in this game does not mean that your character can't have children.
Yes, they can lie back and think of England, I believe, is the term. So we're at least going to sway her and make her a little bit more of a fan of us. But this is something to know because it does lower the chances that we will have another kid. However, the fact that she is 21 means that we probably have a number of opportunities. We also have a sibling, Princess Sissa, and we could perhaps marry someone in. Yeah, let's arrange a marriage. We've got a knight here. He's looking pretty good. He's Bosnian, but we'll get. We'll do this Croat here.
Are either of them fertile?
It doesn't show characters in the picker who aren't fertile, which is good. So we're going to have a matrilineal marriage here so that their kids, if any, stay in our family.
Right, so this is your emergency backup. So if your daughter passes away and then you die and you have no direct heir, if your sister has had a son or a son or a daughter?
Yes, my niece or nephew will be next in line for the throne after my children.
Or at least next in line for you to play as.
Yes.
Historically, the next ruler after Kresimir was an usurper, or at least the family characterized them as an usurper.
Let's hope that doesn't happen this time. Let's see, what other things can we do? We could declare war on this duke, who I believe we will, because we have a de jure claim on this county. This means that if we enforce our demands, we're going to gain this county. And I would very much like to do that, because the more counties we have, the more our income will be. We're in line to inherit titles. This is not interesting. Our heir is 5th in line to inherit somebody. This is also not interesting. We could create some duchy level titles. You don't want to create too many duchies, as then you have to populate them with dukes, and dukes are powerful. That's why they're dukes. We also have a powerful vassal who's expecting a council position. And he is our cousin, and he's pretty good at intrigue, much better than our current spy master. So I'm going to appoint Count Domenica. He's going to... Count Stepan is also not going to like this, but, he's not as good as his job good at his job, so we're going to appoint Count Domenico.
Your marshal is kind of terrible too.
Yeah, he's not looking so good. He is also a powerful vassal, which is a little unfortunate. But he's just going to have to live, and we can always choose to butter him up. Let's see, is there anybody who's better at marshal? Yeah, we've got our brother-in-law who has 17 marshal here. Oh yeah, that's the guy who we just married off to our sister. So he's having a really great day. And so Theodore is now our marshal. Count Droboslav is our chancellor. We don't really have anyone who's significantly better at diplomacy than him, and I don't want to piss off all of our powerful vassals at the same time. Now we have Ban Zvonimir, who is our steward, and he's a genius. He has 20 stewardship because he is a fortune builder, he is diligent, he is focusing on being a steward, and he is also receiving assistance from his spouse. How nice. Shout out to you, Princess Ileona of Hungary. And we'll also lose some land when our vassal dies, because his primary heir is belongs to Duksha, and this is kind of going to be a problem, I think. So something that we will do is I think we're going to plot on and get ourselves a claim on Zvarje so that we can usurp it from this count. He'll probably be a bit unhappy about that.
I don't think I realized that you could usurp from your own vassals. I don't think I knew that. I knew you could seize the county back, and all your other vassals get offended by that.
Yes, if you have a claim on that county and you then strip the title from the vassal, it's not considered an act of tyranny.
I'm learning so much.
Yes, so we have. It takes a little bit longer. We have 3 years left before we can get a claim, and it's going to piss him off something fierce. Let's see, what all does he own? He only has this one title, so if we take it from him, then he's just kind of. He is our chancellor, and he's not going to be happy with us. But we need that title. Or actually, wait, no. No, we do. He is in our house, so it looks like I think it's changed the heir, so we'll see how that works out. We'll certainly get a warning. So I'm gonna unpause now. Count Domenico created the Independence faction, and our nephew Count Stepan created a faction to install Count Stepan against
These
us.
are the two dudes you just fired from the council.
Yes, they're not happy with us. But they're both too weak to send an ultimatum. And what I'll do is, Count Droboslav doesn't really like us, but what we'll do is we'll tell our spy master that he needs to be swayed. So we have an 89% chance every iteration here of increasing his opinion of us, which is currently +2 out of a possible 100. Can also go to -100 as well. And so he will eventually acquiesce as to...
And this means that we've put our sway scheme against the queen on hold.
Yes, because it wouldn't really matter all that much. So we have some events here. My daughter and heir, Neda, is an unusually calm child. When the others play their wild games, Neda often withdraws to some silent corner. She does not speak a lot, but I can tell she is always thinking about something. I wonder what is on her mind. She gains the trait pensive, which is not too bad of a trait overall, and I want to educate her myself. She'll become my ward. This means that I have the chance to control what personality traits she ends up with. So we can, it's not always, you can't just educate someone and make them into a perfect human being, but we
just
will.
Like real life.
Yes, I was going to say just like real life, but we will do our best to have someone who's a pretty good person to have around. So we're proceeding onward. Don't think we have too much to do yet. We could, there's some things we could do here, and we want to search for a physician. Oh, it looks like Count Stepan has decided not to be. Oh no, he's disbanded and created it again. That's a weird little glitch. So we're going to start by searching for a physician, because we want to have that in case we get sick, which is getting sick in this era is not a thing you take lightly. So here on the left we have Daniel, who has the physician trait, and that's somebody who we want to have on our side. because you can't. We could hire Vertigo, who is cheaper, but Daniel is actually knows what he's doing, at least to some degree. So,
and this being the Middle Ages, illness is deadly. I
yes,
mean, I've lost more games, or I've lost more great rulers to them getting sick than I have, I think, to war.
yes, it's very serious. Now we can do something which is pretty cool, which is we can ask our head of faith for gold.
Just like real life.
Just like real life. I got on the phone yesterday and I called up a religious leader, and he was like, okay, so straight up.
104 gold?
It's so much gold, right? We do spend, a third of our piety here, but piety is kind of the least important resource. So we're going to get a ton of gold, and we're going to invest it. Greetings, King Kreshimir. I've considered your plight and decided to grant your request. May these funds help you spread the true faith in your lands. Signed, Pope Alexander II. Praise St. Matthew.
Talk about your golden obligations.
Yes, here comes the tax refund. So now we have a lot more gold, and now we're going to start building things in our domain holdings. So in Synkrot, I want a quarry. In Mokro, I want, let's see, I can't afford farms and fields, which are what I really want, but I'm going to settle for hunting grounds, which gives us some more tax and some more soldiers. And we do want some soldiers because we're going to be declaring war on this duchy to our southeast. Not too, without too much delay. And unfortunately, they already have some allies. Who are they allied to? They're allied to Robert the Fox. That's pretty clever of them.
Patrick, you and I played through a game that we did not record as Robert the Fox, who is, I thought, one of the most fascinating characters. A member of a Norman family who's of no note, whose brothers were adventuring down near Apulia and just ravaging the countryside. They told him, you got to get down here while the getting is good. Eventually became, I don't remember if his title was King of Apulia or Duke of Apulia.
Right now he's the Duke.
Took over, basically formed the Kingdom of Sicily, and was apparently, by all accounts, just a bear of a man. Historically, I think he was one of your antagonists, so it's going to be interesting to see if you end up at loggerheads with Duke Robert the Fox.
I think it's likely that we will. He is a bit too strong for us to take on now that Duksha and he are allied. But what I plan to do is to take some of these counties to the south here. It is
before he eats them up.
Yes, exactly. How are we doing on our current that county place? We have 19 months left. We're more than halfway there, so I think we should kind of keep going there. What I will do with our spy master is I'll send him to find secrets in, where's the capital of the Holy Roman Empire? It is Byzantium, indeed. So we're going to go and we're going to look for secrets in Basileus Constantinos' court. We have a 60% chance of learning a secret, which is pretty good. And I know there are secrets there. So we're going to accumulate some of these secrets, and then we're going to cash them in for money later. I want to also increase the control in my counties. This county is a little bit corrupt. It has, it's gone now because we just finished the task. But it had some like bandits or whatnot, lowering my tax revenues. So he's going to chill there and make sure that doesn't happen again. And our steward is going to collect taxes. And we should be kind of off to the races here.
20 years left to pacify that county, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to take forever. I'll look
Welcome
at that.
to the Balkans.
Yes, that's very fair. Now, what are you doing here? Looks like he's doing making some moves up here.
So who is that?
That is
Robert.
Duksha and Robert. Looks like they're off to commit some crimes. Not sure what they're doing.
These Normans, you can't trust them.
You can't trust them. So we're gonna fast forward until our priest is done fabricating a claim on this county. Then we're gonna start fabricating some claims on this stuff, Capua. And here we go. We already have some secrets. Duke Nikephoros of Athens has taken Pavlina, a commoner, as a lover. This is useful to know. We will cash that favor in pretty soon, as soon as we're able to acquire the Golden Obligations perk.
And your perks acquire, you get points just for time passing. But obviously, events can change it too.
Yes.
But assuming no events, you just get more perks over time.
Yes. So for some reason we have two almost identical factions. That seems like a bug. But Count Stepan is pretty unhappy with us because we fired him from the council. So we're going to switch our sway scheme to be on his, because Count Doboslav is a good bit happier with us. He's no longer a member of these factions. So Count Stepan will hopefully get it done. We're almost done fabricating the claim on this county.
What's your chancellor doing at the moment?
Not too much. He's engaging in he's buttering up domestic relations. So my sister Sissa has given birth to a daughter. That's pretty good. They're part of the dynasty. So their name is Marja. Hopefully they can pump out a nephew just in case. This is bad. To the beguiling King Kreshimir, I've been corresponding with Count Doboslav and has been a shameful diplomatic display. You are not the man I thought you were. This is King Salomon of Hungary, who is to our north. This has to be some terrible misunderstanding. He's not a fan of us now, which is not so great, because I would really love for Hungary not to invade us. That would make me really happy.
This game has taught me more about geography, by the way.
Oh, yeah. All right. Greetings, King Kreshimir. I've prowled through documents both ancient and of less certain provenance. I finally have enough material to make the case that you are the rightful lord of the county of Svarge. And all we need is a little bit of a bribe. And now, if we turn up our crown authority to 2, which makes us a more powerful ruler, we should be able to revoke a title without incurring some tyranny. So we have a claim on the title, allowing you to us to revoke it without being viewed as a tyrant. But he doesn't have a high military. So if Count Droboslav declines, he will rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals.
Now, do you have a hook on him? I see though.
I do not have a hook. Now, something I could do is try and get a hook, and then he'd be more amenable to doing what I say. And we have here another Byzantine who's taken a commoner.
A commoner from Philadelphia.
That's I assume
yes,
there's
I
a
know
Philadelphia.
it's a city in Greece, almost certainly, but
Yes. So that's useful
my
to know.
headcanon is that commoner is
Absolutely.
from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And I think what we'll do is we'll send our spy master over here just to see if we can get a hook on this guy who we'd like to strip of his title.
And
now,
it's no longer a crisis because we think that perhaps
yes,
his heir is now.
Yes. I think that his heir is of the right house. So instead, now I would want my archbishop to fabricate a claim on Napoli. Ideally, I'd love to keep our the territorial boundaries of our realms kind of in, I don't know what the word is, unified, but with the way that Southern Europe is right now, that's not super possible, and better that we have some kind of far-flung provinces and we're pumping gold out of them than we have a smaller empire. Oh, this is interesting. Duke Mikhailo of Duksha was taken prisoner after she won the Battle of Lanciano. That is presumably what the Apulian and Duksha military forces were doing, and I wonder, they now have a lot fewer military than they did previously. I wonder whether we could
strike.
I think
Of course,
we
they have
might strike.
alliances. Do they have alliances?
They still do have the alliance with Apulia. I wonder if I could arrange a marriage between them. We could arrange a marriage between my niece and I guess one of his sons. He has many sons. So we would then have an alliance with Duke Robert the Fox, and I think I'm going to take that. I believe.
And so he will. Are they guaranteed to not take a side in the war if they're allied to both sides, or is it just a chance?
It doesn't actually. I think I may have misjudged that because it's not listed in our alliances, so I believe I just kind of gave him a niece, which is not ideal. But Princess Nada appears to be kind of pulling through. So now we are unlocking golden obligations, and it's time to visit the Bank of Byzantium. We're going to blackmail Duke Leon. We gain some stress here because we are just, but not a huge amount, and it'll be fine. So we've gained a blackmail hook, and now we're going to demand payment, and he's going to pay us 50 gold so that we don't have that hook again. And that's just fine. I don't really care about who Duke Leon is. I just want his money. And we're going to do the same with Duke Nikephoros. And,
how do these? I see this grows closer to forming a rivalry with you all the time. How important is that mechanic, or not?
Rivalries are interesting. Usually, kind of a blackmail here and there won't make a rivalry, but if you strip counties from someone, or this often happens with vassals. If you strip counties from someone, or you kill their family, they'll consider you their rival, which gives you some story changes and interactions with them. If you keep going and go beyond rivalry, they can be your nemesis, which is interesting. And if you capture or execute a rival and nemesis, then you gain a huge stress loss because you no longer have to worry about what your rival is doing, presumably. So we have like 200 more gold. And now we're going to build some more stuff. Let's build...
we can see that your income now is 6.5 gold a month,
yes,
as opposed to 5.5.
I want
so
some more levies. So I'll build a tax and levy form. And I'm going to save up for some farms and fields there. We should be able to get that pretty quickly. Okay, cool. We are making a claim on Napoli, as I very much wanted. And we'll continue onward. Despite my best efforts, my agents have yet to uncover any secrets at Count Droboslav's court. I think we'll give it another shot. If there's anything, we'll find it. Let's see, it looks like we have some Hungarian and kind of kingdom wars going on here. Looks like their forces fled into my country, which, it's none of my business. I mean, it's kind of my business, but I don't really care. Yeah, he's wiping these people out.
And generally speaking, zones of control are not a thing in CK3.
No.
In the Europa Universalis games, there's this whole thing about you have to ask countries for military access. That doesn't happen here. You go wherever you want, more or less.
They don't have cell phones. Who's going to know that? It'll be like a year later that the news makes, and he's like, I'm gone now. Now, we failed again to unlock any secrets at Count Droboslav's court, which is not what I wanted, but neither is it a tremendous loss. So we're going to go back to Byzantium, and we're going to find some more secrets and visit the bank again and again.
Make more money, yeah?
Yeah. We're up to 150 gold in that place I want, and so I'm going to go and build these these farms and fields that I very much wanted. Actually, I'm going to build walls and towers, which gets us tax and a good bit of garrison, and adds to the fort level, which is a measure of how long it would take an invader to conquer it. So those will continue onward. We're going to need some gold here soon so that we can finish the bribe to gain a claim on Napoli.
Can you go into debt to pay those bribes?
Yes, you can.
I always find that some things you can and some you can't, and I'm
Yeah.
always confused about that.
We lost the 60, and we get an unpressed claim, and should be good. Now, here's something interesting that I note. It's that the alliance with Robert the Fox is over because the Duke Mihailo has died. He died from his wounds at age 54, and because his son ascended to the throne, the alliance is off.
What I hear you saying is that it's time to go to war.
It is absolutely time. We're going to... okay, so here we have an opportunity to increase the level of sway that we get with Count Stepan, but frankly, it's not super important. At least it doesn't seem super important to me, though he is kind of getting up there in unhappiness. So yeah, let's do it. See if we can help him out. He can send an ultimatum in 23 months, which is kind of not good. So we want to get our dread up pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is ignore that for a little while. I'm going to get some more gold.
I know where you're going with this.
And we're going to get some...
Can I make a prediction here?
Yes.
Can I try and psychically predict what's going to happen?
Yes.
You're gonna go to war. You're going to take over whatever county you're going to take over. In the course of doing that, you're going to take prisoners, and you are then going to torture and murder the prisoners to increase your dread, to scare Count Stepan. Have I called it?
You got it in one.
See, I couldn't do this in my own game, but watching you, it all makes perfect sense.
Okay, cool. First, we have to deal with the fact that Duke Vratislav of Bohemia has converted to Waldensianism, a variant of Christianity which focused on apostolic poverty as being the path to perfection. And so we're just going to say, what twisted mockery of our faith is this? And now...
Which is the same as doing nothing, basically.
Yes. We're going to send our guys to conquer Zahu Miloša. Now he has begun a siege, and I've begun a siege. His siege finishes in 6 months, and mine, I believe, because he has some siege weapons on his side that I forgot to build. But we're gonna go and conquer him.
Chase him out of there.
Yeah, and he's already.
Take his siege weapons.
I'd like to.
Don't you wish?
And he's already turned tail and run.
This is the part of the game that I like the least, which is this micro chasing from province to province.
It's a little frustrating. Okay, cool. Duke Ioannis schemed from the shadows to have Duke Romanos murdered. We're going to take that to the bank. And that's a strong hook. So he may give us more money. No, it's just the same 50 gold. It'll be fine.
Still, 50 gold's 50 gold.
He appears
I am
just
confused
to be...
about...
he's wandering about. So... Now he is attacking our capital, which is... So right. we have to make this happen. Come on.
Can you detach a force to cover the siege?
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. But actually the siege has already stopped, so it's kind of not a huge...
Oops.
Okay, so even in the midst of war, Count Budek is willing to use any excuse to push Count Stepan's claim on the Kingdom of Croatia. like troops and gold bleeding away on the battlefield. I need to take a hard look at what options I have to mitigate this threat. I'm going to just pay him 50 gold because we have it, and he's going to leave the... Okay, cool. We're finally in this battle here. So, we are winning this battle. The advantage is in our favor. Our knight has maimed one of his knights. And this is the Duke himself who is commanding this. So if we capture him at the end of this battle, then the war is over. That's the end of the war? Yes. And it will have been a success.
I find this battle display basically incomprehensible. I mean, obviously I could tell who's winning, but it's clearly trying to give me more information about why one side is winning, and I've never understood it.
Yes, it's a little obtuse, and it's probably the part of the game that I'm least comfortable with. But I'm getting better at it. Now we're still really, he's lost, a ton of his men. He is down to 28, down to 3, and we've won the battle. It's a victory. He is retreating. Got him. So I'm going to keep pursuing him because I want to wipe him from the map. He is probably going back to one of his towns, probably, yeah. So I think we'll probably, keep going. And hopefully we'll cut him off soon. There we go. All right, yeah, he's about to get stomped as well because it's a 2-to-1 fight.
The other thing worth mentioning is that these armies recover disturbingly fast.
Yes.
Like, I've inflicted huge losses on an army and been like, okay, I'm not going to have to worry about them for a while, and then they're back seemingly a few months later. And that, dear viewer, is where everything went wrong. Kresimir's invasion of Dukla, modern-day Montenegro, was a disaster. Although we won several battles, we'd forgotten to build siege weapons first. This meant that the war quickly forced us to turn from offense to defense. To make matters worse, after attrition had whittled away much of our forces, Count Stepyan raised his banner in revolt and defeated Kresimir the Great in battle. Deposed by our own counts, Kresimir was reduced to the dukedom of Croatia, while his cousin, Stepyan, became king. Worse, the war with Dukla still rages, and just across the Adriatic Sea, Robert the Fox of Puglia watches and waits. Patrick was, frankly, devastated by this turn of events, but we are not giving up. After all, as in Dwarf Fortress, losing is fun, and all is not lost. In a stunning display of poor judgment, King Stepyan chose Kresimir to be his spymaster. Given that Kresimir is second in line for the throne of Croatia, this decision may prove to be his undoing. Next week, we'll pick up the thread at this point and see if Patrick can come back from these early mistakes to triumph. Thanks for watching.